two, rock on. Check it out, y'all. 1, 2. Young lady, rock on. Check it out, y'all. 1, 2. Young lady, rock on. Check it out, y'all. 1, 2. Young lady, rock on.
What's up, y'all? We back. What's the Science podcast / showcast, basically hip hop education. And I'm honored to have the legendary First EmCee of hip hop in the building, Kool Herc, y'all.
Hi, y'all, everybody. It's good to be here once again, and it's always a pleasure when they acknowledge me because a lot of cats don't really know me. You just heard my name. A lot of people think I was a myth, you know, but as hip hop evaluated and hip hop got deeper, it got away from the original cats because everybody got money in town. So they left some cats behind, and they left Kool Herc behind.
They ain't leave you behind. You still here, bro.
There
you
it
still
is.
doing your thing.
There it is.
You understand? I'm honored to have you here, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure.
So in the beginning, what was it like to be the first MC? You know what I'm saying?
It was, I mean, again, you know, a lot of people, like everybody asked me that, but at the beginning of hip hop, before it was hip hop, it wasn't fashionable. So it wasn't a big thing to say you was playing records or put your name on a ticket. I didn't take a name till the 4th club we got to, you know. Like people was trying to give me other names, but I wasn't accepting that. But again, it wasn't fashionable. Like growing up in New York City, early age, you know, selling drugs, playing ball, pretty boys, fighting, dancing, that was like kind of popular. Playing music as young cats, it was disco. It wasn't this b-boy hip hop thing. You know, it wasn't even the way we play records, you know, so I couldn't see myself. I used to always tell Herc, like, damn, we a little ahead of our time. Because I was making 8 tracks, and half you cats ain't even born before 8 tracks was made. I was selling 8 tracks for $50, the hustlers, you know, and that's how that went, man. I mean, my team, I was just starting to become a hustler, and guys was like, Coke, what you doing with that music shit? You know, and I was like, come on, man, this is my partner, this is what we doing now, you know, because once I take a bond with you, like, we people, you know, and me and Herc was more than just people, we was friends, you know, before hip hop.
How did you first meet Kool Herc?
I met Herc. Herc went with a young lady that lived in my neighborhood, but I used to see him ride by. Herc had a fixed bike, so I paid attention to that. But he used to always ride by the ballpark for a minute. Then once I met the young lady that knew Herc and we got introduced, then Herc went to high school too with me. We both went to Alfred E. Smith, but he used to see me and I see him. But as far as in the neighborhood, you know, we got to know each other, and Herc used to come hang out with me and my little team. That's, you know, and we used to go to parties other than before he even played parties, but we became friends through that, you know?
Who was the original, from the beginning, Herculoids?
That became truly after, to me, really even after Clark Kent. Because it wasn't Herculoids. Like when they say, Coke, how do you feel to be a Herculoid? I was never a Herculoid. I was Kool Herc. I was my own self. The Herculoids came after Clark Kent, everybody else. I don't know if JC was part of who they consider Herculoids. That's when everybody became that. The Herculoid was the system. It wasn't even the people. So that's why guys be like, Coke, how do you feel to be a Herculoid? Herculoid was the system. And again, like I said, I'm the first. I was with Herc from the first party. I don't like chopping up people and going into, because everybody now, all of a sudden, I see everybody want to take a place in this hip hop. Everybody, well, I did this first, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this. But ain't nobody co-signing what they did. And to me, all y'all that said y'all did stuff, and y'all was at the first party, which was a lie. Y'all was at this party and that party, that was a lie. You know, again, you're turned into the Lion Kings, you know, and then they're not them cats just on Broadway, you know, and I'm not trying to be what it is. I am hip hop. Hip hop made other guys, man. When we was doing it, that was a chump thing. If you played music, they'll come to your party, everybody enjoying yourself, and the older cats are just, a half an hour before the party over, they'll take your money, take your beer, party over. They don't rob you. You know what I'm saying? This is why we roped the party off. Like, they be like, why Herc and them put that rope there? Because if you come past that rope, I used to tell you, you get nothing but death if you pass that rope. Because you're not taking nothing from us. I was just becoming that cat, like I said again, I was becoming a hustler. I went from nickel bags, half an ounces, quarter pounds. I sold it. Anything moving, I sold it. And by hustlers' rules, man, give no mercy, take no prisoners. You know, so we made it fashionable for cats to hold their head up. Just like you want to know how cats started dressing and looking good. Come on, man, we ain't never brought outfits. We wore them. Guys wear costumes, they looking like Zeus and all this, dressed up, whatever, man. I mean, my clothes was just what it was. You know, and that's how rapping kind of came about. I had to tell you who I was because you got me confused with Kool Herc, who is my partner. I wasn't no handyman, no record carrier.
Being the first MC, you know what I'm saying, the culture, what was the fashion like back then?
Well, fashion, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I believe I created the fashion because like, cats was, especially in the Bronx, cats was shopping at a place called Alexander's. That's where, when you go there, you had, like when you come to school, 20 cats got the same shirt on.
Mom's just taking you there.
Because you know, I mean, everybody didn't have money. Like my family didn't have money. My mother was layaway, let's get it right. But in the system of hip hop, growing into that stage of dressing, I started becoming a young guy, getting money, you know, and dressing like I was getting money, like I said again. If you had any type of street status, which that's what it was, you had to play ball, fight well, look pretty, or play ball, or one or the other. That's where, you know, you got most of your talk about like you the man on the block or however it go. But getting money, you know, that's how, as I became Kool Herc is even talking, because I wasn't even Kool Herc, man. I was just who I was as a guy on the block. I didn't believe in putting my name out there, none of that, you know, because it just wasn't fashionable. That wasn't the best cat on the block to follow, a guy playing records. But as me becoming who I was, like I said again, I didn't become Kool Herc till I got to a club called the Hevelo. But before the Hevelo, like other brothers said, they went to the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone was our first club that we ran into. We played there at least 3 times. But when we played there, I played a lot. Guys ain't know my name. Guys used to call me Kool Herc, but I didn't have a name, but I'm playing records. Herc used to have to be at the door because back then too, a lot of guys got into the party free because guys were scared of, a lot of guys were scared of the killers, the guys getting money on the block. So certain guys just walked in your spot, you know, it wasn't no protection. And then again, I forgot to tell y'all, we didn't have security, we didn't have no metal detector. We had at least 150 people that come in that's, as they say, strapped. Guys had their gun because growing up then, guys was getting money. I knew guys coming up to the Hevelo, coming up to the club, they got at least 10, 20, 30,000 in their pocket. They only 16, 17. I thought it was legal. You know, and then to show that status of that, where you dressed at. Like when guys was buying stuff at Alexander's, I was buying stuff at the original AJ Lester's, 125th Street. I meant Mr. Lester's, you know? And when you were in AJ Lester's, you could shop on the first floor and think you part of that crew. But if you don't go downstairs to the basement where you spending a Gia better and meet Mr. Lester himself. Mr. Lester ain't upstairs. That was other guys upstairs, you know, Scotty Malloy, them type guys upstairs. But Mr. Lester was downstairs. And that's who I knew. I go buy an outfit, he said, Coke, if you see 2 people with it, bring it back, I'll give you your money, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? I was wearing lizards when guys was wearing camel boots. I was wearing custom-made lizards, $375. I was wearing pepper silk pants, $150. I was wearing $200 shirts. I was wearing $1,200 coats.
What kind of jacket you was wearing?
When guys was, I mean, before guys even start wearing sheepskins, they was wearing them, like you said, the cat litter coats, you know, stuff.
Porterfield.
Yeah, I mean, but I had Porterfield blazers. The guys had Porterfield, I had the blazer. I had custom-made lining inside my blazer. I had my name inside. I wore hats from Dogs, 47th Street, Broadway, with Al Capone in them. Kool Herc was a different kind of cat. Like I said, they said I wrote nursery rhymes. How dare they say that? I was the first G-Money man. I kept a G better any type of weather, cold or hot, rain or not. I was born in off and fought like a slave, fucking and fighting as all Kool Herc played. And my first rhyme was if a freak is your nigga. If a freak is your nigga, that's the freak you seek. I guess before you go, the freak be on the boat. As long as the music's not stopping, the rocks are dropping, the champagne is flowing, the freaks will be going. Hotel, motel, you don't tell, we don't tell. My mellow one time. And for my manager, Ricky Rick, let's go. That's it.
Kool Herc, man, I want to thank you, man. This is a real honor for all you brothers out there that's getting paper, you making millions off this culture. All I'm saying is pay homage. Because this is where it comes from, where it came from the heart. Ain't had nothing to do with no money because they was already getting money. You understand what I'm saying? So just know why you making this money and don't act like you don't need to know your history and where this shit comes from. Not saying you owe us anything or owe him anything, but what you do owe is the respect of knowing why you doing what you have to do and what you're able to do. Without a high school diploma, niggas can be total motherfucking idiots. You understand? But you got the gift of gab and you can break this bread. Kool Herc.
And I got the original Clark Kent and the Imperial Kayslay.
That's what's up.
Here we go. This is the original Herc.
Yeah.
Herc with us, baby.
Yeah, you already know.
I love these two brothers before I go. You hear me? Right here. This is it. This is the beginning. In front of us.
Warning, 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 warning. The Drama King is in the building. The Drama King is in the building.